Hey everyone, my name is Josh. Thank you for tuning into my session 1 reflection video. You'll have to excuse me for sitting down. I actually just had knee surgery about 2 weeks ago, so I still have 4 weeks left of being on crutches, so for the time being I'll mostly be seated. So just jumping right along into the video, the prompt asks 5 fairly simple questions. The first one is, do you communicate more with or without technology? And it's a pretty easy answer for me. I definitely communicate more with technology right now, for 2 reasons primarily. Firstly, I am a full-time online college student, keyword online, so I'm just being schooled kind of virtually, if you will. I'm not interacting with my professors or my classmates with you guys in person. Everything's either over Blackboard or email or another online platform. So that's a good majority of my interaction is with my student peers. And then I'm also right now I'm kind of on house arrest while I'm recovering from the surgery, so I'm just not getting out very much, so I'm kind of just texting my friends and calling them, emailing them. So it's definitely communicating more with technology. And the second question, which mode of communication do you find most effective? Now, contrary to what I do find that a synchronous form of communication is more effective than asynchronous, just because when you're talking to someone face to face in person, you can pick up on things like their body language, kind of the social cues that chapter 1 talked about, and that can tell you a lot more than you'll ever learn, like from reading a text message or email, for example. As far as which mode is easier, I do think that it depends on the person. So if you're like me, I'm a very confrontational individual. I'm pretty laid back, easygoing. And I like to think things through a lot before I say them. So because of that, kind of my personal scenario, I do think that communicating with people, like say texting, is easier, but not necessarily more effective. The fourth question asks, how would your life change if you swapped your most used method with your least used method? It would definitely kind of shake up the temporal structure a little bit, because right now there's kind of like a little gap in time in between each message and conversation, versus if I was having more face-to-face interactions, everything would be in real time right after the other. So it would change it in that regards, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. And then the fifth question asks, how does the use or misuse of technology affect the mediation of your relationships? And I was kind of thinking about that. I think using technology, it can go both ways, but say you're hanging out with a friend in person and you guys have like a little bit of an altercation. It might not even be a big deal, but like a little disagreement, and maybe you lose your temper, then you guys kind of both go off your own ways. And later on that evening, you're giving it some thought, and you're like, yeah, I should probably apologize to them. Like, you want to keep the friendship, so then you'll shoot them a text message or call them. So in that sense, technology, the use of it can kind of soothe and help mediate a lot of relationships. Of course, it could go both ways, but I think that wraps up the video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your night.